Political mind games. Tonight, as I begin the program, you saw the title, but before I do, I would like to read an article as reported by NBC News pertaining to the Hunter Biden campaign and the response coming from Donald Trump's team. Trump campaign, GOP, seized on Hunter Biden verdict to escalate attacks on the father. Donald Trump's 2024 campaign and many of the former president's Republican allies are seizing on Hunter Biden's conviction to escalate attacks on President Joe Biden. We're going to stop right there. So I want to get right into the heart of this matter. When Trump was convicted on 32 different counts last week, there was an outcry and escalating and eviscerating of the so-called unfair judicial system against the presidential contender, Donald Trump, former president of the United States. They decried how unfair the trial was. The jury was supposed to have been rigged. They alluded that there were some black people. They didn't use the term black, but they talk about brown people on the jury. First of all, there were no black people or brown people on Trump's jury. They were all white people on his jury, a jury of his peers. He received a fair trial. There were no judicial violations. There were no constitutional violations. He had the opportunity to testify at his own trial, as did Hunter Biden, who had the opportunity to testify at his trial. Both men declined to testify under oath. One claimed he couldn't testify because the judge said he couldn't. That was an outright lie. So tonight I'm going to be talking about the Trump campaign and lying Republicans. Over almost $100 million has been raised in fundraising from the Trump team, going around the country, supposedly campaigning, but actually it was about just getting money, that's all. But now they're complaining and they're just making outright lies. They're telling outlandish, outright lies about the Hunter Biden conviction on all three counts of their federal gun charges. Hunter Biden responded. I recorded in a video earlier about Hunter Biden's response to the conviction. He said he was disappointed, but his team, they're going to appeal, just as Trump's team, howling and screaming and kicking and raising hell all the way to the appellate court. Both men have a constitutional right to appeal. President Biden already said he was not going to give or issue his son a pardon. That's crystal clear. But that's not enough for these MAGA Republicans. They just lie. This is what they do. They make it up all the time, as we say in our language. They make it up. They don't call it lying. They call it alternative facts. It's outright lying. You and I, if we're in court and if we lie under oath, it's called perjury, punishable by 5 years imprisonment. Politicians lie under oath or skirt the issue. They call it alternative words, or they plead the fifth against self-incrimination. The problem is this. The campaign, let me read this right here about what the Trump campaign is saying. And I quote the article from ABC News. Quote, the Trump team, shortly after the guilty verdict was handed down in the younger Biden's federal gun trial, sought to shift focus without evidence, as always, to claims about the family's alleged foreign business dealings. Who has more patents with China? Who has great business dealings with China? During the Trump years, the White House was an open door for crime. But because of his Attorney General, William Barr, who shielded, protected, defended, aided, and abetted David Weiss, the Trump-appointed prosecutor down in Delaware. Notice, he is a Republican. He's a Trump-appointed prosecutor who oversaw the entire process. What does that smell of? A Trump appointee, a Trump prosecutor, overseeing crimes against the president's son. Republicans are upset because they tried twice to impeach President Biden and they could find nothing. Even people in their own party said, we're not going to impeach the president because there are no impeachable offenses that Biden has committed. There are no felonies that President Biden has committed. And remember, those who scream and kick and holler and scream the loudest are the ones who believe, those who can lie better than anyone else. Make no mistake about it. This is going to be a contentious, hard-fought election coming up in November. And you know what? I'm predicting right here tonight that President Biden will be reelected as president of the United States. And the Bidens have every right to seize on his son's conviction, and they have every right to have as many fundraisers as they choose to, the same way that Trump and his team did. Now back to this. This trial has been nothing more than a distraction from the real crimes of the Biden crime family, which has raked in tens of millions of dollars from China, Russia, and Ukraine. Caroline Leavitt, the Trump campaign's national press secretary, said in a statement, "Crooked Joe Biden's reign over the Biden family criminal empire is all coming to an end on November 5th, and never again will Biden sell government access for personal profit." How about this? Democrats, listen up. All you have to do is make political ads and continuously show the insurrection that occurred on January 6th. Fight fire with fire. Stop playing with these individuals, because they're going to lie, they're going to cheat, they're going to steal. They're already planning to rig the election. They're already planning to steal the election. They're already planning to cry foul and rigged when Trump loses. And he's going to lose. President Biden has done great things, and I'm going to talk about a lot of them as time goes on. But in the end, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make separate videos, and I'm going to talk about the strengths and weaknesses of each candidate. You know, to be fair, I'm going to talk about all Trump's strengths, and I'll talk about his weaknesses. I'll talk about Biden's strengths, and I'll talk about his weaknesses going into the November election cycle. Because after Labor Day, it's going to be in full swing. Some will continue to campaign modestly during the summertime, but it's going to be hard fought. Billions and billions of dollars are going to be spent. Why would somebody spend billions and billions of dollars to become president of the United States? It's not about money. It's about power. That's the bottom line. It's about one thing, power. A sitting president can do many things while occupying the Oval Office. Hunter Biden is accepting his conviction the way a man's supposed to. He's going to file his legal appeal like he's supposed to, like anybody else. He is entitled to a judicial fair process, the same way that Trump is entitled to a fair judicial process. Biden has another trial coming up about evasion of income taxes. Probably be convicted in that trial as well. Just as Trump will never go to prison, he'll probably be given house arrest, maybe even a suspended sentence. But you can believe what I tell you. They're not going to put a former president of the United States in prison. They'd throw me in prison real fast, real quick. They'd throw you in prison real fast, real quick. This is why I call it political mind games. It's called distract and deflect, lie and deny. That's the name of the game from the opposition. Remember, distract and deflect, lie and deny. Pretend like things never happened. Even when video comes forth showing what you said, you still want to lie about it and say, that's not me. Well, who is it talking if it's not you? He did say, lock Hillary up. And I'm going to find that video and I'm going to play it in its entirety. What did he say? Russia, if you're listening. He talked about Hillary's emails, etc. 2016 was a different type of election. Trump came into power because white people hated Barack Obama. That's the bottom line. Make no mistake about it. You can get mad with me. You can get angry. The vitriolic hatred that Republicans had for Obama was unprecedented in the history of the United States of America, simply because a black man occupied the White House. I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. America needs a woman president of these United States to take the helm and bring stability, bring sensitivity, bring correction, bring leadership. So, Trump's campaign and the lying Republicans, they're going to continue to do what they do. They don't ever want anybody on their side to be brought to justice. Biden is convicted and they're still not happy. There's no satisfying these people. And Democrats, you better wake up. Get your act together. Unite around your candidate. Stop letting people berate your candidate. Stop letting people put your candidate down. Stop letting people tell you that he's not in charge. He's demented. Both candidates are old. Both candidates are senior citizens. Both candidates are mentally losing some ground. Both candidates are approaching. Biden's 81 and the other one is 77. Political mind games is real. And if you don't think that this is about power, you are deluding yourself. It's not about helping people. It's not about giving justice to the untold millions of people. Many of them have been unjustly put in prison. And they're languishing. Some people, they commit terrible crimes, they have to be in prison. But you cannot have a two-tier judicial system. You can't have a rogue police department going around framing people, lying on people, setting up people to be murdered because they have differences of opinion. Law and order without temperance and mercy is nothing but tyranny. That's what it is. Political mind games.